Now, on today's, let's say, clip over here, we are concentrating on Rabbi Moshe Shatroug Z'tl, one of the great Tunisian rabbis. Here on Yud Gimel Kislev marks his Hilula, 13th of Kislev, naturally, as we say in English. He would go on to become one of the great rabbis of Tunisia. He'll be appointed the head of the Jewish court there in Tunis, respectively, and will be the chief rabbi, let's just say, of the Jewish community of Tunisia. I believe between the years 1921 to 1927, approximately a 7-year tenure in of itself. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, it's actually interesting. He learned under very great rabbinic auspice while he was young. Rabbi Abraham Hajjaj, who he himself happened to be one of the great rabbis of Turkey, of Tunisia in of itself. He'll become a Dayan in Tunisia and will be the chief rabbi himself between the years 1873 to 1880. So already he was learning on the chief rabbi territory in of itself. And much more can be said. He would go on and learn Torah at the highest level and will be appointed, let's just say, a head shochet in of itself, a rabbi that would perform kosher slaughter, and a bodek, also an inspector. This was in the city of Tunis, and will become also a morah, hora'ah, as they say in Hebrew, very, very prestigious, important position in of itself. Then afterwards, I believe, it was dealing with many different things, especially important Torah-related Jewish, especially with regards to Sefarim, Haggaot Sefarim, checking books, proofreading, for example. Some of the great rabbis of Tunisia, they wrote many, many great different books in of itself. He was an expert who was reported over with regards to the halachot, the Jewish laws, with regards to treifot in of itself. And many of the great rabbis all over the vicinity will even ask him the highest level questions with regards to, including Rabbi Yisrael Zayton, who happened to be the head rabbi at that point in time, would also converse within regards to this great rabbi of Rabbi Moshe Shatroug within regards to this topic with hard level questions, which has to be pointed out. It's actually interesting. I believe he had close friendship with Rabbi Moshe Shakohen, who he himself happened to be one of the great rabbis also. And I believe he was the head rabbi of Jerba. Jerba, remember, was, let's just say, the bastion of the cities in Tunisia, the areas in Tunisia, and definitely in northern African countries when it came to Torah. He himself, Rabbi Moshe Shakohen, wrote many different great books on chinuch, on halacha, on musar, on drashot, and question and answers, and was really seen upon the highest esteem. And everyone was, many of them would actually converse with him very much so. It's actually interesting. He would be appointed a judge, part of the Jewish Bet Din, the court, Dayan, in the court of Rabbi Zayton. He's the great Bet Din over there in of itself. And well, in Rabbi Zayton's final few years, he would actually serve as a deputy, like the number 2 position over there, which was a very, very prominent position. And come what the English year, 1921, after Rabbi Zayton passed away, he was elected to serve as a chief rabbi of Tunisia. So talking about, this was a position he actually got 103 years ago, approximately from the time of recording here in 2024, which is very, very important and a great position for himself. He will also become the head of the Jewish court, as we say in Hebrew, the Av Bet Din of Tunis, with many different great rabbanim he was working at the same time. And I believe he established in Tunis the great famous Shiva Gdola, and very much was doing very important Torah communal Jewish activity in of itself, especially within regards to, for example, I believe even training the future shochets, let's just say chazanim, mohelim, rabbis that will perform Brit Milahs in of itself, circumcision, which has to be pointed out. And it was let's just say a time period of change. There was a lot going on in the city. He really tried to strengthen, let's just say, in of itself, the Torah that was taking place over there. He was worried that outside factors or new changes could affect the high level of Torah there always was, especially over the few years before in Tunisia. So he tried to make sure that the Torah level in of itself would, let's just say, stay very strong and healthy in of its own right. I believe there was much more, it was a time period where there was a lot going on, as we stated before, and he had to, let's just say, maybe oppose things that might be a danger, let's say, to the community, and feel which ways and which topics and which areas could be improved in himself. I believe he signed a call to support the famous Keren HaYesod over there in that point in time. And I think at the later stage, the head of the Jewish court would become, while he was a chief rabbi, would become Rabbi Nissim Yirchi. I think he himself happened to be another great rabbi in Tunisia at various stages in of itself. Rabbi Nissim Yirchi, I believe it's his Hilula. He was the head of Jewish court naturally in Tunis, and he would become, I believe, the chief rabbi of Tunisia after he passed in the year 1928. This would have been just after Rabbi Moshe passed away, I believe, in the year 1927. He would pass away in December 1927, to be precise. And this position of the chief rabbi really, really did bring a lot of opportunity for change in area, a lot of opportunity to continue strengthening the Torah, and very much he was a great rabbi in of itself. I believe he passed away on Yud Gimel Kislev in Hebrew year Hey Tafresh Pei Chet. Now it's interesting. I believe they moved his bones to the land of Israel on Chaf Zayin Adar Bet in Hebrew year Hey Taf Shin Samach Chet. It was reported over, and he would be buried. His bones would in the cemetery in Lod. Very interesting enough. Now, his son was Rabbi Moshe Shatroug. I think he was actually appointed as a Dayan, also as a Jewish judge, in the Bet Din in Tunis, another prominent position. His brother was Rabbi Yeshua, a very, very great rabbi in himself. And there was also another brother, I believe, Rabbi Mordechai Shatroug, another great rabbi in himself. So, rabbanim of the highest caliber, you could say. Now, he brought about his own, let's just say, various different teaching methods. He expounded on, he was brilliant when it came to chinuch with regards to Jewish education and Torah education in of itself. And I would recommend everyone to research more with regards to that. Now, including among his books, include the Yeshiv Moshe, which is a Torah question and answer book, Shelot and Shuvot. I think this was divided up into 2 books in of itself. Then there was a Brit Melach, another great book, which is Hilchot Melicha, talking about the laws with regards to salting. I believe. I think this was also part of Eshut, Shelot and Shuvot, if I'm not mistaken, the Yeshiv Moshe. Then there was a Shevet Achim, another great book. This was the Halachot, the Torah laws, within regards to the dinim of Treifot. I believe he actually wrote this with his brother, Rabbi Yeshua Shatroug, and also Rabbi Shlomo Dana. Rabbi Shlomo Dana was another very great rabbi who we spoke about before. I actually met, I believe, today, one of his descendants. He would be, I believe, the Rosh Yeshiva, the famous institution, the Chevrat Talmud in Tunis. That would be Rabbi Shlomo Dana in itself. And there was other great shuvot, let's just say questions, which he had printed out. I think that was part of a conglomeration of many great rabbis of his generation from Tunisia and various other vicinities in of itself. Now, he proofread many books also, which is interesting enough, including the Chalav Chitim from, I think, Rabbi Yitzchak Chai Tayyib, another great rabbi we've spoken about, I believe, before. Then there was also the Maaseh Nisim, or Rabbi Nisim HaKohen, who happened to be head of the Jewish court in the area in himself of Jerba. He was a great rabbi over there, of the, let's say, the Rova HaGadol over there. Then he proofread the book of Nei Tzedek from Rabbi Yeshua Basis, who was another great posek halacha in of its own right, and the head of the Jewish court. Then there was a Ma'orot Natan, he proofread from Natan Burjil, another great work. Then the Bochor Yaakov, which was from Rabbi Yaakov HaKohen, and the Kisei Rachamim from Rabbi Rachamim Mazuz, who happened to be a great rabbi. It's actually interesting. I'm not too sure if Rabbi Rachamim Mazuz was an ancestor of the famous Rabbi Meir Mazuz and Rabbi Matzliach Mazuz, but I think currently in Bnei Brak there's a very large, flourishing Sephardi yeshiva called Kisei Rachamim of Tunisian descent. Then there was another book he proofread, was Yirot Shlomo, I think for Rabbi Shlomo Vaza Uzan, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a Zerosh Shel Abraham, which was, I think, from his Rabbi Abraham Hajaji, another really, really great rabbi in of itself. Now, please, friends, Yud Gimel Kislev is the great rabbi's Hilula over here. Don't forget to light candles in his memory. He was born in the English year 1846. He passed away in 1927. So at that stage in time, he would have been, I believe, approximately just over 70 years of age. He would have been, I believe. He was one of the great rabbis. Yeah, so I believe he was actually 81 years of age. I made a mistake. If this was the date, 1846 to 1927, yeah, he would have been about that in his 80s in of itself. One of the great rabbis over there passed away in December 1927, great shochet. He was an expert with regards to laws of treifot. His rabbi was Rabbi Avraham Hajaji. Among his generation included great rabbis such as Rabbi Moshe Kalvon HaKohen, Rabbi Rachamim Chai Chavita Kohen, another great rabbi, Rabbi Shlomo Dana, and Rabbi Yisrael Zayton, really great rabbanim, and write many great books. Please don't forget to light candles in his memory. Friends, we have already covered in this series more than 530 rabbis of yesteryear. We've covered a lot of great Tunisian rabbis, probably at least 50 or possibly even more. So please don't forget to like the videos, share the videos. If you happen to be related to any of these great rabbanim, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. And it's always important to hear about the great rabbis of yesteryear. So wishing you all well, take care and be well.